there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another couch video. The HBCU movement in college sports. Yeah, and y'all know on this channel, like on this particular channel, it's mostly about man gets woman and just pure masculine self-development. And my other channels, I got a channel for the ladies, and I got a money channel, and then my deep thought metaphysical type of channel, right? And that's cool. And I don't really go outside of that, right? I did say I was going to do a politics channel, but one thing on this channel, I don't really get in specifically into racial stuff every now and then, since I do have a fan base and money base outside of the black community. But we're gonna put that to the side for now, and I don't get into something that's ultimately political. We're gonna put all my normal stuff to the side. We're gonna talk about something that's happening in college sports. Now, understand something about me. I'm a big college, not so much college football. I'm a big college basketball fan. I pay attention. And even when I was in school at St. Joseph's University and then at the graduate level, American University, I hung out primarily with the ball players. Could even ball with them sometime, you know. I'd be pissing them off and stuff. They like, how this dude blocking me on the garden, right? So I would hang out with these fellas, right? And so, really got into it. In fact, from the dudes that went to St. Joe's, I actually had my hair cut by a former NBA draft pick. He got drafted back in 1987, late round though, so he didn't make it. But I used to cut my hair. Another one was real cool with was actually a first round draft pick of the Denver Nuggets, Mo Martin, back in 1986. And I got three of the guys now that I knew are actually, one's a head coach at Rider, and then two assistant coaches. One's an assistant at Indiana, and another's an assistant at Rider as well. So it was cool. So I was always kept up with it, right? Indeed, when I was coming out of AU, I actually thought about being a sports agent. I actually seriously thought about it. That's how deep it was. I actually thought about it, right? And I was like, but I actually knew somebody who was a sports agent too. There was some money there, a couple folks who were sports agents, right? So I was really thinking about it. And last year I was kind of off. It was kind of weird because my school, St. Joe's, they had a coaching change, and I'm not a fan of that particular style now. Maybe when they get some talent, I could see the potential, but yeah. They had a coaching change, and you know how it is. The coach leave, a lot of the star players leave and stuff, right? So that's cool. That's cool. But something's been happening lately. Now, for people who follow college basketball, there was just the news of this guy. I got notes for this joint. Like Makura Maker. This is a 6'11" Kenyan brother. Right, he's playing his ball out in California, I believe. He's a 5-star recruit, number 17 on ESPN's Top 100 Players. He just committed to Howard University at HBCU. HBCU, for those who, for whatever reason, don't know, historically black college or university. And he just committed to Howard. Now, anybody who follows college ball know every once in a blue moon, these teams, a team from a HBCU will make it to like the round of 32 in the NCAA basketball tournament, March Madness. But for the most part, they're not taken seriously. And everything. They barely get anything. The programs don't make as much money as some of these big schools, right? But so when this dude said he's committing to Howard, that sent waves. Some people even mad. Some people mad, right? He ain't taking that money to a white, predominantly white university, which is significant. Like, understand something, that is actually a political thing, Because understand something, if you look at college football and basketball, even though they have athletes of other races, definitely some white athletes in there, it's these black athletes making money for these many of these schools. They put money in these schools. And actually, even though on many campuses, this is a political statement now, they seen as a mercenary presence. They just there to bring the money and stuff. And the students, they cool with them as long as they playing that ball. But if they go beyond that, there's some issues. I've witnessed that personally, and I've talked with guys over the years. And that's significant. You get this player, the 6'11" guy who still, the only reason he might not play at Howard is if he's drafted in the NBA in the October draft. If he's a first round draft pick or something, he already let it be known he'll go. Because this dude, Makir Maker, I had to look up that name because I hadn't heard about it until I heard about this announcement. But, you know, this dude is 6'11", can dunk, can definitely play inside, but also shoot 3-pointers. That alone would be the only reason he don't play at Howard. That alone. You know, but he said if he ain't a first round draft pick, and he's like, nah, he'll be at Howard. And he'll definitely be practicing with him. But see, he's not the only one though. He's not the only one because you got this other player who's transferring from Wake Forest, Sharon Wright Jr. from Wake Forest to Morgan State. All right? Wake Forest, ACC. ACC is major, you know? So he's transferring. That's significant right there. Then you got this other player. Now, he was a 4-star player, but he's still pretty good. Nate Tabor. He going to Norfolk State. So you starting to get like these major players. He was a top 100 player, though. These major players starting now. It's a trickle now. But that's all you need, though, right? And then there's a player, and he's actually been playing against LeBron James. There's actually a video on YouTube of him going against LeBron James's son. LeBron James's son. And this dude's name is Mikey Williams. And he already let it be known. People draft, he's a freshman in high school. He was a freshman in high school. And he got major colleges. Trying to get at him, already offering scholarships. And he let it be known he's open for HBCU. You know, in fact, Makira Maker, he actually let him know, hey, you know, come on. He's like, hey, he's ready. You know, and that's, I'm going to tell you what, that's major on many ways. Because say Makira Maker doesn't go to the NBA and he just plays just a season at Howard and it's good enough to, like, get them at least to the NCAA tournament or even before that. So you understand something, in college basketball, these black athletes be making money for these schools. They're making money for these schools, getting them exposure. So that's drawing students. And see, that money is also going to building funds for them, getting good professors. And Quaz is kept allowing a lot of non-black students to get scholarships and attention, everything. That means a lot. Because it's big money. And it's not just big money from like television contracts or something, but alumni. Alumni sponsorship is big. It's big money. That's why there's a big argument for paying these kids. That's why it's a big argument. And they don't have to get like thousands of dollars or something, but they generating billions for their schools, and some of these kids can barely eat otherwise. That's why you always have some corruption about them getting money from boosters and stuff like that. But you take that out, just give them enough, you know, just give them enough so they can do something, you know. But that's halfway another conversation. But this is major for HBCUs because, okay, say Maker doesn't go to the NBA, right? He just say, you know, let me just take another year or something, you know, or he don't get that guaranteed first round pick. Still, I mean, I'm sure somebody will still pick him, but say he stay a year, he can bring Howard up. Right? If he can bring them up enough, because just him being there, he might get some other decent players, maybe not a 5-star or something, but they get some money. Some people want to see him on TV or something. They make the tournament, right? That's major. That's major, because then that's exposure. And just making a tournament period brings in a lot of money, right? They can start fixing up some stuff. They can start building some stuff around there, right? And then what that does, they like, well, hold up. You got Sharon Wright at Morgan State. Since he's transferring, he probably won't be able to play this year unless there's some type of exemption. And, the kid Tabor at Norfolk State. If what that does is start opening it up. And then when Mikey Williams, who's class of 2023, he get up there and say, hey, I'm going to go to a HBCU. That start opening up the floodgates. All of a sudden, these players who've been generating all these millions, even billions for these major universities are putting that to the HBCUs, which then they can use to upgrade their facilities. They can get better, like professors, stuff like that. Maybe even be able to give more scholarships because they just plain have the money to some deserving students. That's an empowerment thing right there. That's major. I don't think people get that. That's a major thing. Because despite all this stuff that happens against black men out here, and we see it, that's why we had all this stuff with the George Floyd thing. Despite everything, despite how black men are demonized, anything, the black athlete ain't demonized. Even in relationships, the black male athlete is looked up to. Even in relationships, it's big. I've actually had conversations with men, white men who want some black nationalist shit. And it'd be some tension until something about sports come up and then they real cool. And that's making a lot of money, generating a lot of money. In fact, some sociologists, there's been some people, some commenters who called it like just modern day slavery. That's how deep it is. So you getting these guys, you start getting these young kids who instead of generating money for some of these universities, many of whom might have some students that, rooting for them and stuff, but, see them as mercenaries. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to tell you how deep that shit was. To the point, I remember reading an article decades ago where they saying, we got these black athletes on here. We need to have more black women so they ain't getting at the white girls. That's how deep that shit is. So this is something. I'm going to be paying attention to it. It's like, I ain't going to be a Howard fan or anything like that, but that's going to be a game changer. People don't realize how big a game changer that will be. If you start getting some like these 5-star and 4-star, even 3-star athletes who start going to some of these HBCUs. And even some might even say, you know what, why don't we transfer out? Because it's a major thing. It's a major thing because, it's the sports part of it, but just from just talking with my friends, there's a business aspect to this joint too. Strong business aspect. So it's something to pay attention to. So anyway, that's all I got for today. And I might start getting into some more, loosely into some more political stuff. Don't ask me for anything though. Don't ask me for anything. Because as I said on a video last week, I got certain folks paying attention to me. But on this one, I said, nah, I had to say something. So anyway, I'll talk to y'all. Peace.